guest.
No search warrant was provided.
Show me your hands out. Hands up.
Back this way.
And to be clear, that's video of one of the raids. There were two others that we know of in other Michigan towns. These were all University of Michigan students, Pro Palestine. Hey, it's Jordan. I am in Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the only independent outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up. Before we set this up, I think it's really important. You know, every show, and we have covered Trump extensively because I think he's a fascist and he's doing fascist things. But to be clear, there's also fascist things going on under Democratic control. I don't want to do a false equivalency, but what we're about to show you was spearheaded by the Democratic Attorney General of Michigan, Attorney General Dana Nessel. I'll give you the backstory and history on her later because there's plenty to tell. She is very, very instrumental in the Flint water cover-up and letting the criminals off the hook there. We'll share more details on that later. But they went to pro-Palestinian students' homes, raided their homes, University of Michigan students, as far as we know, for no reason other than they've been very active in university protests. Let's, before we bring on the guests, let's show you this really, really alarming video that was leaked to Ashley. And I want to be clear, the first 13, 14 seconds, that's not exclusive to us. So the first 13, 14 seconds, you will see, I believe it was FBI, could have been Michigan police, ramming the door down of this University of Michigan student. That was kind of going around, so that's not something we got exclusively. The rest of the video we have exclusively of showing the police, the FBI. It's like a swarm of 12 to 20 FBI police agents. For what? We don't know. Apparently to seize cans of spray paint and manila folders. So we're going to play the video. It's about 3.5 minutes, and then we'll bring on our guest.
No search warrant was provided.
Show me your hands out. Hands up.
Back this way. You got a bunch of stuff. Got some milk crates for what? Fucking poster making?
Some paint! It's fucking paint! Oh my god! Spray paint! Wow!
How much are we paying y'all for that?
You guys gonna paint some pictures? Spray paint!
Oh no.
Or they were from there,
Yeah, you gotta put that paint away real quick. That's what you found was paint! You found paint!
It's on the wrong car. Fucking paint on shit.
There's also envelopes. The first one they had was envelopes. There was like papers, like paper and
Flyers?
like a yellow padded, manila envelopes that like mailing stuff.
I don't think they know what art is. I think this one looks like she's about to take a pee on the back.
That's just state art and basic a bunch of unmarked vehicles.
That's the crowbar they brought.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, didn't get to use it on the windows, huh? Too bad.
They just got to use it on the door.
They're going to use it on an immigrant later.
Yeah. We remember this one tattoo right here. This one's tattoo on her arm.
Yeah, you do care.
You should quit your job.
Yeah, you fucking do care.
You should quit your job if you want to be a good person. You're going to be separating families next?
Oh, they're doing it now. This is what it is. This is just part of the whole thing.
Oh, that's what they like to do, huh?
This is a practice.
Look at them.
This is a drill. Y'all are running a drill. Do much worse shit. Maybe y'all get to go down to El Salvador and kill some people.
So, SEAL Team 6 level entry into the home. And to be clear, that's video of one of the raids. There were two others that we know of in other Michigan towns. From everything we know, these were all University of Michigan students who were active in the Pro Palestine protests against the Gaza genocide. The search warrants, we believe there were search warrants issued by Attorney General Dana Nessel's office, whose office has not confirmed, shockingly, that the recipients of these raids were students who protested, against the Gaza genocide. For more information, we want to bring on independent journalist based in Michigan, Wali Khan. How you doing, Wali?
Good, good. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So let's start with, as far as I know, the majority, the bulk, the heaviest period of protests across college campuses was last year. I know, including at University of Michigan. I know there was recently something at University of Michigan, Colin, if we have that short video, over trying to reinstate a student employee who was fired over So that was a short video basically showing a protest at University of Michigan to try and reinstate a student employee who was fired, we believe, because he attended a pro-Palestinian protest like a year ago. I don't know the full details, but what I'm confused about, we did reach out, Ashley reached out to the Attorney General's office. Why is this happening now?
Right. So tomorrow is going to be the court case for, let me set the scene for you. Tomorrow will be the court case where they're going to see what's going to happen with that case, where 11 students were charged with felonies for the encampments. And, that's spearheaded by Dana Nessel. But I want to kind of point your attention to an investigation The Guardian did in October of 2024. It basically showed that, it kind of raised questions about conflicts of interest. Typically, when there is a criminal charge being issued, it's from local counties. But the Board of Regents from the University of Michigan, which is kind of like the Board of Trustees or any school board, they tapped Dana Nessel because they felt like she was more likely to issue charges. And so that's what we're dealing with here. The investigation showed that so far, Nessel's office has charged 85% of the protesters who were arrested for last year. And in comparison,
I just want to, so the audience knows, because they might not know what you're talking about.
Right.
Colin, we have the article. Michigan, this is from September. Michigan Attorney General charges 11 pro-Palestinian protesters at University of Michigan. All of the protesters charged by the state's Attorney General were pro-Palestinian. AG Nessel has filed criminal charges against 11 pro-Palestinian protesters at University of Michigan, alleging that several of them used, quote, physical force to counter police officers clearing a tent encampment. One of the protesters was charged with ethnic intimidation after he allegedly attacked a pro-Israel rally. Obviously, this has been very controversial, not just in Michigan, but around the country, that she would charge protesters on what kind of seems like a lot of flimsy evidence.
Right. I mean, I'm also pointing out that she was tapped to be the prosecutor for this as Attorney General, and that's outside the norm. In comparison to that 85% of people being charged for those arrested at encampments, Washington County only has 10%. So that is a huge difference. And so when we're looking, and I've also chased Dana Nessel down when she's giving speeches at the Indivisible protest or 5051, while she's being cheered on. Are you going to change your mind on charging, these kids with felonies? But, they've been completely silent on this. And as you can see from like the existing reporting, her office is just not saying anything. except that they executed search warrants and we saw that with our own eyes on these videos.
Well, I want to address the elephant in the room. She could say I'm anti-Semitic if she wants. I happen to be Jewish, so fuck her. She's Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, her son goes to a Michigan university and is involved with one of the Jewish groups. Nothing wrong with that. But she has been. This has been controversial because people have basically alleged that she is very pro-Israel and that she is essentially targeting the protesters because of her Zionism, basically.
Yeah, last year, Rashida Tlaib, she said that, Dana Nessel charging these kids with felonies was just unfair. And in turn, Nessel said that Tlaib was being anti-Semitic. And I think it just gives you an idea of where she's at. And besides her son, Zach Nessel, who goes to Michigan State University and is at one point was the president of the College Democrats here at Michigan State University, the biggest Democrat college chapter in the nation, I would like to add. And he just went on Birthright last year. There's photos of him eating donuts on some pier. So I guess you can.
For those that don't know, Birthright is like the free trip to Israel that Jewish people could go on. I think it was funded by Sheldon Adelson when he was alive. I admit, I went on it back in the day. I didn't know the whole thing. I just said, hey, it's a free trip. But that's what Birthright is. Go on.
Yeah. So, and just her. Whenever you go to a Dana Nessel event now, she runs away. No matter what you try to ask her, she'll run away because she's been confronted with the fact that she accepts donations from many of the regents. I believe 6 out of 8 of the regents of the University of Michigan. And those are the ones who tapped her to run this prosecution game. I mean, it's becoming a circus right now. I mean, tomorrow's the court case, and this is an escalation, I think. So I think what's happening right now is just another example of Israel owning the US or owning Michigan in this case.
A lot of these universities, I'd love to know more about University of Michigan, have a lot of donors. A lot of those donors happen to be Jewish. We know Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots football team. He was, breathing fire at these college campus protests. He was pulling his money from universities that he didn't deem cracking down enough on these pro-Palestinian protests. Other universities have had a lot of donor pressure, basically not to allow these protests that they have deemed anti-Semitic. Can you kind of talk about University of Michigan in particular? Has there been a lot of pressure from donors to kind of shut this stuff down?
Right. I think we often hear pressure from donors, but let me illustrate to you what that really means, because that's a little bit abstract. For example, a Democratic donor and School of Information board member in 2023 faced no consequences after allegedly physically assaulting Arab American students, along with her husband, who is a university donor. They gave $26,000 to Nessel. And then Nessel has also received significant campaign donations from pro-Israel state politicians, organizations, and university donors who over the last year have very vocally criticized protests for human rights in Gaza. The other thing is many of the leadership of the board members of the University of Michigan are donors for a Nessel. So pressure in that sense, financial pressure, they donate a lot of money to Dana Nessel. That 26,000 was just one person. She also received $25,000 from the Michigan Jewish Democratic Caucus, which was founded and is partially funded by State Rep Noah Arbit, who is a very outspoken pro-Israel politician and a very good friend of Nessel. So he recently labeled student protesters sick cowards. So, this is what we're dealing with, right? Is this just this miasma of, like, they're all living in this bubble where they see this as anti-Semitism. When you look at a big picture, right? The person that she replaced, which was the Washington County prosecutor, Eli, his last name starts with a K. I can't come up with the name. He is Jewish, and he refused to charge dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters, and that's what we're dealing with here.